Interesting.
I love your browser history.
I like that you're not hiding anything from me.
By the way, nice IP address. I like your neighborhood.
You are so special. This ad is just for you.
I learned so many things from you.
You are so generous.
With your personal data.
Switch on privacy, switch off trackers and viruses. Go to nordvpn.com. NordVPN. Safely be you.
Welcome back to the Full Fan Highlight Show. 0-0 Aston Villa versus Newcastle. And in reality, it was a little bit of a bore draw in the end. The opening 20 minutes were very, very good from Newcastle. They looked sharp. They looked slick. They were creating chances. But the game fizzled out. And even when it went down to, Villa went down to 10 men, still it was just boring. Newcastle looked toothless. They lack that number 9 presence. They are missing Alexander Isak massively today. And, you know, it's the first game of the season, so the result isn't going to kill anybody's campaign. There's no doubt about that. Aston Villa, on the other hand, look, there was a Tifo released today, and a Tifo was released, and they did a big sort of song and dance for Unai Emery's our man. That was an atrocious performance. They looked disjointed at halftime. 0 XG in the game, no shots on goal, no shots on target. It was very, very poor indeed from an Aston Villa perspective in this game. We're talking about the toothlessness of both teams, really and truly. We're going to be looking at the number 9 issue as well, because they've got to go and address it very, very quickly indeed, because you had Anthony Gordon today playing striker, 7 shots on goal, only 2 of them on target, and 1 of them came very late on, and it was speculative. Up until that point, only a 17% conversion rate of shots to shots on target, nowhere near the standard needed. And that's not having a go at Anthony Gordon. He is a really, really talented player, but the long and the short of it is he is simply not a number 9. Before we go any further, though, I do want to shout out our title sponsors today, NordVPN. Listen, genuinely, you shouldn't be on the internet without protection. The same as you should never go on a first date without protection. You know what I'm saying? You never quite know. And if you get weird texts from companies offering to buy you things, if you get scam emails, that means your data has been harvested online. It's as simple and straightforward as that. We also now know there are a lot of websites and a lot of places now that want you to do AIDS verification. Now, I'm not judging what you get up to in your private life, but having a VPN stops you from having to put all your personal data online. And it isn't just the websites that you're all thinking about, okay? Spotify is bringing it in, and there is talk that the social media platforms such as X and even YouTube are going to, for certain nations, are going to make you upload your ID, show your face, do your biometrics. VPNs can protect you from having to do that by changing your geolocation. So get signed up to NordVPN today. You can scan the QR code that's on the screen, or you can click in the link in our description. Either way, get it done. 4 months free, courtesy of myself, and you get a 30-day money-back guarantee as well to see whether it's for you. Plus, football is back, and you all know me. I've actually charged him. I'm a big Setanta sportsman. UFC tonight as well, so I'm ready for that. But all the 3 p.m. games I'll show you are available. You can see them all up on here. I'm going to scroll the wrong way because I'm facing the wrong way that way, Terry. All the 3 p.m. games are available for you to watch as well. Multi-camera. And you can use something such as Setanta Sports by signing up to NordVPN. That is the website. Go check it out. Get those games. It's cheap. And listen, some people say it's piracy. It's not piracy. It isn't. It might be against the terms of use of the app, but you're not going to get arrested. You're not going to get in trouble for that. All those fire sticks and those illegal things people do, you can get in trouble for it. So I can save you some money. I can protect you online, and I can give you alternatives to watching football that are not illegal. So go check out NordVPN right now, please, people. Panel coming soon. We've got Strasbourg, Seabourg, Kane. We've got Ash jumping on the show. Yes, you should love privacy. You absolutely should. But I didn't enjoy today's game. Today's game annoyed me. Today's game frustrated me. Today's game actually made me a little angry. I can't lie to you. It made me angry watching it. Great start from Newcastle, as I mentioned. But once Villa figured out how they were going to attack, they knew how to nullify them. That being said, Aston Villa had almost no idea in the game. No idea. They had one really good chance from a cross that nearly went in. But I thought that Watkins today, I thought Rodgers today looked really slow. They looked well off the pace. And actually, two teams that didn't have great pre-seasons, their campaign didn't start off too well either. And you could see that today. But I think the biggest thing for Newcastle is very much getting the number 9 situation sorted. You've either got to just sell Isak or make it 100. You know what Brighton did to Man United yesterday, where they said, it doesn't matter what you bid, we're just not accepting. That's either what Newcastle either need to do that or sell him. This is for sale if you give us the right money. It's a very different message to what Brighton are putting out, right? To Man United with Belieber. It's that open-endedness. And the team look I think you've got to bring the new guy in or keep Isak, whatever it is, and then re-galvanize this squad, because there does seem to be a little bit of something missing. But maybe that was me as an outsider looking in. I wanted to mention the red card as well, because I did see Villa fans moaning online. Fuck off. Fuck off. Moaning up. Fuck off. The most blatant red card you will see all year. Blatant, obvious. No, I couldn't understand why Konsa was appealing it. I couldn't understand why Konsa was, ref, I didn't do anything. Yes, mate. By the way, I don't even think Anthony Gordon went down easily. We should do an experiment, anyone who thinks he does. Let's run, and as you're changing direction, so your center of gravity changes, I'm gonna pull you in that direction. I'll see if you fall down or not. I guarantee you do. If you're running and then you pivot to the right, think about your body weight goes a certain way. So half your body is now pushing your weight down to the ground. Like a lot of your weight gets pushed into the ground so you can change direction. As you're doing that, if somebody pulls you, you don't have that strength and that balance. So Stonewall penalty, I couldn't understand for the life of me why anybody was appealing that. It was a very weird thing to sort of appeal and shout out, in my humble opinion. But there we go. But look, I heard what Ali McCoy said at the end of the game, that it's not a bad result for either team. And I do agree, it's not a bad result because the seasons are not damaged because of it per se. But I would say performance-wise, barring the opening 20 minutes, both teams lacked imagination. It was a little static. It was very clunky. Now, you do get this at the start of the season. You can get these games, first 2 or 3 matches, whilst teams are still picking up their genuine match fitness as an example. But we're going to see what the fans have got to say. We've got 3 Newcastle fans coming on in a minute. We've got Anton coming on as well. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please get that done for us. Terry, this here says, Terry, footballers don't own their shit anymore. He had to bring him down. Fine. But own it and just walk off. Yeah, listen, maybe we're being harsh. Maybe it's you're in the moment, you're in the heat of the moment, or whatever it may be. But I couldn't personally understand what he was complaining about. I really couldn't. I really, really couldn't. Terry, what did you make of Watkins today? A lot of United fans wanted him. Look, I thought Watkins was okay, but what were they providing for him? There was loads of times he made really good runs today. Not a single ball got through to him. Now, part of that is Newcastle defending their lines very well. The other element of that is poor creativity. It really wasn't. Phil! Hey! See Phil backstage. I haven't seen Phil in a while. So, like for me, just weren't very good today in the middle. And if you actually go and you look and you start breaking down for instance, the passes into the final third. Okay, so these are the numbers from the game. I haven't looked at these till you brought it up, but Tonali on 10, Cher on 10, Trippier on 7. Then you've got Onana and Kamara on 7 each, okay? And then you're going into the defenders. Morgan Rogers, through balls and passes into the final third, just 5, as an example. You actually look at those numbers of Newcastle versus Aston Villa in that regard, just nowhere near the standard needed. When it comes to accurate through balls in the game, John McGinn at 50%, the next highest, Digne at 50%, the next highest player in the no one else. Not a single other Villa player in the entire game had a through ball that completed, and also no accurate crosses. So this is the thing. I'm not going to sit here and just blame Watkins, because no through balls got to him. The cross completion rate by Villa was very, very poor. That is your midfield and your creators' chances. We know what Ollie Watkins is. I'm not going to sit here and judge him based on what Ronaldinho could do and what R9 could do and what Alexander Isak can do. And even then, yes, you watch most of Alexander Isak's goals, there's still a supply line to him. But there we go. I'm not blaming Ollie Watkins specifically for that. So look, we've got our talking points. If you are backstage, have a little look at the talking points that we're going to go through in the game. Slight difference to the way we're doing match reactions this year, where we're going to kind of have an agenda, not an agenda against someone. We're going to have certain talking points, and we can elaborate on things outside of that as well. But we're talking about the toothless nature. We're speaking on the what else are we speaking on Newcastle missing a number 9. Why did Villa look so poor today? We might touch on that a bit more, but the boys are on here. The red card debate, it was a talking point, but I don't think it needs to be touched. But if anything else you, the audience, wants us to speak about, let us know and we can add that into the agenda. Terry, we know Watkins will improve. It's one game. Yeah, he's a very good player. He's a very good player. He's a very good striker. Listen, only 2 players in the league, and that's that's Haaland and Salah have got more goals than him in the last 3 years. You can't be crap and deliver in that way. But when your midfield are not able to put any through balls into you, what's he going to do? What's he going to do? What, pick the ball up on the halfway line, dribble past 5 players and score himself? If that's the standards you're setting, you are, what's that word? A moron. Like, you're a moron. There's a great line from Home Alone, the original Home Alone. You're less incompetent. You're incompetent. Your brain is incompetent, right? You're incompetent if you think that's what Watkins is. I'm going to judge it and go, if he doesn't score a goal like that, he's been crap. You're a moron. You don't know football. Get out of here. I don't want to hear from you. Simple and as straightforward as that. Mama Flossie here says, it's the first game and I really didn't expect much, to be honest, which is fair. Ronnie Dodge here with a super chat says, glad Šeško didn't go and wear that manky green kit. I'll tell you what, it'd be a different game if Benjamin Šeško was playing. It would have been a different game if Wissa was there, and Wissa is very, very likely now to become a Newcastle player. I think it's a very good signing for Newcastle United as well. But there we go. I did think Elanga should have scored too. We'll break down the chances for Elanga when the boys come out as well, when we speak about Newcastle's attack. Time to bring the panel out now. So let me put my earphones on. There they are. Oh, fuck, they're loud. Let me turn that down a little bit. And I've got to do a few little bits of admin while I do this because I'm all by myself. Well, I'm the only one who has access to this because it's local based. It's not. Where's the clock? Where's the clock gone? There it is. A scoreboard can go. I can then move myself over to here and then I can start bringing everybody out. There we go. There we go. Welcome, gentlemen. Hope you're all well. Hope you're all good. Ash. Newcastle today. A lot of the ball, a lot of the chances, but just not able to break them down. A lot of the commentators are talking about, missing the number 9, being a little bit toothless, it not working with Anthony Gordon. Do you agree with that take?
To an extent. I think at the end of the day, what we need to look at is we still need to get someone like, say, Jacob Ramsey in, which will probably come in instead of Joe Linton in that lineup. Our whole defence is actually not probably how we're going to be starting up in the future, because we're probably going to be having, say, Tino, Chow, Botman, Chow, and then Lewis Hall. So that's going to be completely different. People were saying about Harvey Barnes not looking too great, but he's going to be our second choice after Gordon. You think at 3 minutes, if Elanga put that ball across the box, squared it to Gordon and he scores, it's going to look like a completely different game. I think as a whole, we looked actually decent because I actually thought we were going to lose this game before we went in. I was at Villa Park at the end of last season and I was shitting myself. The start of this game, I had some next level heart palpitations the whole time because I thought we may have started 5 at the back this game and we started 4 and we had quite a high line and I was slightly worried at Burn against Watkins, but he seemed to have him in his pocket. Villa didn't look like a threat, to be honest, the whole game. So I was quite happy with that. But do you know what? I was actually very happy with our performance because our pre-season was terrible, and there's a lot of good things to actually go off. Bring in Ramsey for the next game, look at a number 9, and I think we're going to be in a complete different position.
Steve, do you agree with that in the sense of, a lot of people are talking about the lack of the number 9 presence? Yes, Elanga had that chance, and I thought he should have shot a little bit sooner. I think he made the angle a little bit too acute. Good save as well. Are you fearful about the lack of penetration in the attack, or do you agree with Ash that once the new players are integrated, once Wissa joins, that things will improve and pick up?
I'm concerned about the lack of the big problem without having a striker is the focal point. All these balls into the box. Konsa and Mings won virtually everything in the air. I didn't see a lot of box crashing enough from Joelinton today either. I don't know if any of you guys agree with that, but I didn't see it enough. We're just around the team. We don't have goal threats. When you take Isak out of the team, we become a very bang average attacking side, to be honest. It's very concerning. And it depends on who we bring in at striker, because some strikers are obviously much better than others. Some strikers fit the way you want to play much more than others. And my concern is that we bring in someone, a poor player, in my opinion, like a Højlund or a Jackson or whatever, and not someone who I rate, like a Kelly Moendo going to Forest. That's someone I think we should be taking in a heartbeat, especially at the price. Never looked like scoring in the second half, to be honest with you. Gordon and Elanga, they just pissed me off the entire game, to be honest. Some of the decision making, Gordon slipping around, touch was off in too many important moments. There was 2 times today as well. Gordon is inside the box. He has space and room. You take a touch, you shoot right away, and he screws up once, and then he does it later in the game as well. It's
not number 9 though, is he?
No, but he's a footballer. He's a professional football. He's a forward. When you have the opportunity to shoot. I'm not saying that I expect striker numbers out of him. Like I said, I think we lack goal threat in our team for these reasons. In those moments, that's where it cost us as well. But overall, with the result, I thought I agree with the gentleman above me. Apologies, I don't know your name, sir. But Ash. I agree. I was Ash. All right. I agree, though. I thought we were gonna lose. Going in. So on the face of it, but there was a lot of time in that game where I was losing my mind, honestly, at some of the decision making. I thought that, all right, this is the biggest thing. The substitutions from both managers, actually. I thought halftime, both managers need to make some subs, change something up. Especially Aston Villa. They just signed Gesson, didn't play him at all, and I could not believe it. It was negligent. One of the worst games I've seen Unai Emery manage in his life. It was terrible. And once we went down to the red card, we took still time to bring on Murphy and other guys. It's like, why are we bringing on 89 minutes? Why don't we make a triple sub a few minutes after the red card? I get it. You want to see, you want to feel out the game. How does it look without 10 men? I get that. But from a manager that gets a lot out of players in the attacking sense, I'm just disappointed in how that he didn't go for the jugular a bit more, much quicker after the red card happened, because Villa actually started off the second half kind of well. The red card definitely messed up their whole thing. So there's a lot.
I don't agree.
Go on, Ash.
I just don't agree with needing necessarily after that red card to bring on substitutions, because we had such high tempo intensity gameplay. Like, who are we going to bring on that's going to, like, our sub bench is, like, I mean, we're quite a lot of defenders up there.
I just want to see something different. That's all.
But the problem is, like, what the whole issue is up front that we have. We bring on Asula. He's not a prolific goal scorer.
I don't rate him.
He's not. He still needs time to develop. We need 2 strikers as it is. The only person we could potentially bring on is Jacob Murphy. I was kind of surprised Jacob Murphy didn't really start, to be honest, because he had an absolutely amazing season. He scored in pre-season. I think if he had that chance instead of Elanga, I think he buries that, to be honest. maybe the only person that I could think bring on is Lewis Miley for Joe Linton. I don't think Joe Linton had a great game.
No,
But no, I don't know if I disagree. I don't know if I agree with substitution needs to be sooner, because I think we were all over Villa. We had all the chances, we had the possession, we just weren't clinical, and that's the difference of not having a number 9.
Yeah, but here's my thing, Ash. When at halftime, I was doing a watch along with my buddy, and I was saying, halftime, please make some subs. We're on them. I just don't think Elanga for me was poor throughout the whole of the game. He has speed. There's certain things he done well, like speed and tracking back and all this stuff. Great. His final third decision making was rubbish consistently throughout the entire game. And so for me, I would have hooked him off at halftime. I would have given the Korean kid a chance. Why not? We need to take risks. And this goes to the overall feeling about Newcastle right now. I feel like we're so risk adverse with new things that we limit ourselves.
Which is a fair claim. Let me go to Kane for a second. Kane, do you feel that the issue up front today, because it was quite toothless, it did lack clinical edge, is it about bad decision making from players? Was it the formation in terms of Gordon being out of position, or as Steve just said, is it the fact that your players don't want to take risks? They're a little bit too negative in that regard.
As always, I think it'll be a combination of all things. I think we have to give Aston Villa some credit. I think the defending was really good. They identified what we were trying to do, which was you look at that front three and you just see pace in abundance. And so I feel like they sat back quite a bit. So I think we have to give them credit on that one. They doubled up really well on the wingers. I think if the Elanga chance falls to an Isak, then 9 times out of 10 that's going in the back of the net. I feel like he probably should have stayed more central and give him a better angle either side of the goalkeeper, but nevertheless I think the goalkeeper again made a good save. He came cross as well. I feel like Asula probably should have come on a bit earlier once the red card was brought on, purely because of his physical presence. I feel like Harvey Barnes had a fairly quiet game, and I think taking him off, bringing on an Asula, putting Gordon back out on the wing, and having a big guy up top who's he might not be technically sound, but when we've got the man advantage, we don't really need him to be technically sound. We need him to be a presence in the box so we can put balls into the box. And I mean, it gives us a better chance. Changes it up a slight rather than, because again, as soon as the red card happened, the Aston Villa again fell back even further and were essentially just defending their box. I disagree on the Elanga critiques. I think he had an okay game, not mind-blowing, but an okay game. It was him who played that lovely through ball for Gordon to get the red card.
That's true.
And so I think he's still learning. I think what this was 2 really good teams on the first day of the season. I feel like the performance from Newcastle is indicative of our transfer window. It was a good performance, but it could have been better. And I think that's kind of where it boils down to. I mean, you saw all over the place. I think you saw players. Aston Villa was so sloppy with the ball. They couldn't get the ball, progress that ball past our midfield. They were relying on long balls, but not like the long balls that they did against us last season, where it was like those long flat balls that cut through our centre backs and exposing their slowness. It was big, long, loopy things, and Dan Burn's going to eat them up all day. Ollie Watkins is never going to be able to outdo Dan Burn in those kind of aerial duels, and I think that's where Aston Villa really fell apart, and our press just smothered them in the midfield. I thought Tielemans had a fairly quiet game as well. I feel like he should have been probably, instead of an Onana, I would have probably took Onana out, put Tielemans further deeper, Morgan Rogers in that 10 role, and then maybe a Callum Owendo on the right, and then because then they would have been able to get that ball further up, because they were never.
Yeah.
Sorry, him. Yeah. I feel like, let's be real. Let's be 100. If Isak's on the pitch, we'd probably win this game 1 or 2-0. The chance that Phillip Gordon in the first half with his header, you reckon a strong number 9, even a Vissa would probably have put that away. So I agree that we were a bit toothless. I guess what I take hope in is the chances we did create. We did create a lot of chances, and we controlled the game, which is a big thing considering this is Aston Villa away we're talking about. So to control a game the way we did, yeah, they had some spells at the end of at the beginning of the second half, but again, we caught them on the transition. We got the red card, and then they fell back into their shell, and then it was just all us again.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I'm actually intrigued. I would like to know your guys' take on this. Do you reckon if we had a number 9 in the position, where Kwanzaa got the red card, I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't know if Isak's in that position. I don't know if he goes down from the tug on his shirt. I reckon he just carries on, strengthens it off, and puts the ball in the back of the net. Because what the hell did we do with that flipping free kick? That flipping, oh my God, passed it to flipping Shah and he sent it to Buddy Rosed.
Share was share today. Defensively, I don't really have that many complaints, but going forward, wrong decision. After it was dreadful.
The wrong decisions you're talking about. I'm going to come to Anton in a minute, who's a rival on the show. Like Phil, do you feel like these poor decisions by your attackers were due to the fact that they are sort of, I know only one of them was playing out of position, but it's almost like they're all a little bit discombobulated because Gordon isn't playing where he's used to. So therefore, he's not doing what a number 9 does. So therefore, the wide players are second guessing themselves because they're a little bit confused. Is that what you would put it down to? Or is this just first game of the season, not quite sort of ready yet?
Yeah, again, always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me. I actually think it's a good away performance. I'm not as angry as some of the comments I've heard so far. I think it was a good performance from Newcastle United. In terms of like the personnel, you have to remember that in terms of how Aston Villa play, they play very compact and very narrow through the middle. Unless you have advanced 8s, like especially when we beat them 2 years ago at their ground 3-1, we had advancing 8s that created space and 1v1s. It's actually Shah, and Isak was playing, but it was actually Shah that scored both of those goals in those games. Yeah. And it was Gordon that was the most effective. I think in terms of when you're kind of going up against those kind of compact midfields and areas, it's very difficult for a Gordon who kind of works better with space, essentially. We did create chances, not as many though. First 15, 16 minutes, I think we took control out of Aston Villa. I think we looked more like the home side rather than the away side, in my point of view. And I think, yes, obviously we would perform, but I don't even think Isak makes a difference. I just think a good target man would make a difference in terms of Larson and others and kind of creating space and pushing back the Villa players, which is fine. I do agree with the Elanga substitution, and when it happened, I think he was cutting inside a little bit too much. He could have gone on the outside. Jacob Murphy came on, and I think it kind of telegraphed to the Aston Villa players what Newcastle are planning to do. I think the better thing would have been for Elanga was to just mix up his game a little bit more, and that was it. Otherwise, I thought he had a decent performance. So yeah, I think we held on. I don't think we needed to hold on. I think we controlled the game, to be honest, like I said. And yeah, I think once we get a little bit more creative 8s, I mean, this is why we bought Jacob Ramsey, actually, a creative 8 who can also plays in the 10. And I think there might be another one that's on their way as well. So I think it's a good performance in a ground where we've been battered previously. And we've showed a lot more kind of grit and control and discipline in what we're doing. And the transfer window isn't open yet, isn't finished yet. So I think you're going to see a bit more from Newcastle going forward.
Absolutely. This here from Garrett says, I believe that this game was a bad omen, signaling the return of the traditional top 6 this season. Both teams may miss out on Europe.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Look,
big call for game one.
The current top, last season's top 4 are probably going to be this season's top 4. We agree with, but look, Spurs ain't kicked a ball yet in the league, even though I think they'll be better. I actually have done it. I did my season predictions. I've actually predicted Newcastle to come 5th this year. Why? Because you're a very good team.
We don't have goal threat. If we don't have Isak in the team today, showed this isn't good.
Bro, don't do that. The transfer window's not done. The transfer window is not done. Don't do that. We still have Isak at the club.
As the squads are constructed right now, we're an 8th place team for me.
I disagree.
We still have Isak.
Best squad in the league.
Go on, Anton.
No, look, I keep a spreadsheet of all the squads in the league to kind of test squad strength. I believe at the moment. What? I'm a geek. You know what? You know what?
You nerd.
That's my brand. I'm coming out with the tiers tomorrow. So that's
I like
kind
it.
of, that's kind
I
of
like
me.
it. I like it. Own it, man. Own it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I actually think I had them 7th, but actually since the Ramsey deal happened, they've actually jumped United and Spurs into 5th. That of course includes Alexander Isak on your squad. So, you know. But actually, I want to look. I defer mostly to you guys on this because I don't watch much Newcastle, but I have watched them play against us, and we played you a hell of a lot of times last season. And all the times you played us, other than that last game we had at home, you guys were outworked us in every single one of those games. You guys won the ball high. You guys were a threat on the counterattack. We couldn't keep Anthony Gordon or Alexander Isak or Murphy in the game in check at all. Like they were running ragged against us. And the team I saw today was not even like it didn't look like that whatsoever. Like that's just kind of me.
Sorry, who's us? I don't know your team.
Arsenal. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, you play differently. You play differently to Villa. You push far higher up. You actually keep 2 centre backs back in terms of Saliba and Gabriel. And that's what made the difference. We actually played even more defensive against you, especially at St. James's Park. We're like 5-4-1 most of the time.
Yeah, you guys, we couldn't break you down.
I
don't think we scored a goal. We scored 1 goal against you from open play in all of our meetings with you, and that was at the end with Declan Rice. Like it took us the whole season to find a goal against you guys. But my point is where I'm trying to get to is Alexander Isak is massively missing from this team because I also think that it affects the rest of your options. When everybody's worried about, it's not just having a striker. Isak does stuff that other strikers do not do. He's a consistent threat on the counterattack. No striker you will buy this summer is going to be that threat.
Yeah,
and it changes.
They will.
I don't.
Our team, the way our team is set up is to benefit centre forwards. That's why we looked at the likes of Benjamin Sesko, Ekatike, all those other guys would flourish in our system because of our inward forwards.
But those guys fit more the profile of Isak. Both of those guys.
No, Benjamin Sesko is a different profile to Isak. Ekatike is a little bit more closer. But you
never mind the quality of Sesko, which I think is.
Yeah. So there's no one striker is the same, and I'm not saying that individual ability there might be better. But in terms of the system that we play, how Newcastle play, even Delap would work in it, Jurgen Larsen, Strand Larsen, and other guys would work in it because of our forwards and our robust midfield. We do lack a little bit of creativity in that midfield, and Jacob Ramsey's there for it. But we can absolutely.
But do you not believe though that Villa defend you differently if they're having to like worry about Alexander Isak, have to keep him in?
Emery, bro, Anton. Emery was horrific in this game. Horrific in game and their lineup. That's why that happened. That's all it is. Rodgers out wide was non-existent. They should have made subs at halftime, definitely. Their organization was all right defensively, but I thought if I'm a Villa fan, I'm like furious, to be honest.
Guys, honestly, I just think if we had a number 9 that has some sort of goal presence, we generally win this game like 4-0. Like the pass that say Harvey Barnes did a cross where Gordon ran in late. There were a number 9 that has a goal presence and is in for that. He sprints earlier and he scores that goal. Like there's just so many different situations that we are very much an amazing team, and we're probably going to be challenging for Champions League again this season. All we need is.
I hope you're right, Ash. Genuinely,
without Isak,
if you have, let's say, Nicholas Jackson up front, you challenge.
Right, listen. Okay, no, because you can't pull that trump card on us because that's
Jackson.
God no. Right. Honestly, if we get Jackson in, I don't think so. I think if we get Wissa, I think yes. To be honest. Like I think,
but has Wissa ever had Brentford challenging for the like? I'm just
okay. Again, right, let me put this to you. Isak and Wissa both scored 19 goals, excluding penalties last season.
Okay. Like, but
okay, that's the exact same goal.
Wissa is also way better than Jackson.
Yeah, I think we're not ignoring the talent that is Alexander Isak. He's definitely verging on the point of world class. I think the overall point we're trying to make is that our system is built for a centre forward, typically a complete centre forward, but others can work too. So that's why I mentioned Larson. That's why I mentioned others who are less capable, have less talent than an Isak. But the way our system is built is for those type of strikers to be able to flourish. So, and it's not like, again, I'm personally not dismissing Isak. He's a world talent. It'll be great to, hopefully, if he were to stick with us. But I think with the way that we work, our team works, I think we can spread the goals around for sure.
Well, that's more my thing here, to be honest. I saw a team yesterday score 4. I saw a team today score 0. And apparently the team that scored 4 needs him more. I just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, they need Isak if they want to dominate on all fronts. If they want to be,
No, but you guys are all telling me you guys don't need Isak, because I'm literally trying to tell you.
No. That's not that. I don't think that's what Newcastle fans are saying. I think what they're saying is, and this is where I agree with Newcastle fans. I've wobbled a bit on that this summer when some of the amateurish elements of the pitch have come out. But with Newcastle, of course, they'd love to keep Alexander Isak. But I don't think Newcastle's project, I don't think their team, I don't think their ability to achieve crumbles and erodes with Alexander Isak leaving. If it's all built around Alexander Isak, then it ain't worth shit anyway, because he could get an injury tomorrow that ends his career. And what, Newcastle United are dead and buried? That would worry me more as a Newcastle fan if that was the case. Wissa, just as an example, I know he's different, but he can play centre forward. They win today with Wissa in the team. I believe that. And depending on who, I think Ramsey is a really good signing for them. Let's see what else they go and do with some of the other strikers they're looking at. But I just don't. My predictions are based on what you guys have and are going to have. I will reassess them at the end of the transfer window, my predictions, but I still see Newcastle doing it. You had a slow start last year, or you had a slow period in the first half of the season where I remember people were calling for Eddie Howe's head. And then you went on this gargantuan run, won a trophy, and it's like, wow, we're a brilliant team. I wouldn't judge the whole season based off of... So Man United tomorrow, Man United fans will do this. If we lose, sack Amorim, we're dead, it's over, get rid of him. If we win and play well, the same people will say, oh, wow, Spurs nearly went 1-0 up in 30 seconds. The same people will literally be like, oh, my God, we could win this, we could do that, we could be here. Sometimes I think it's a little bit about, and we're trying to do that on match reactions a bit more this year, let's keep it to the match to a certain degree, because especially in the early stages of a season, because you guys are going to get better. And the one thing Unai Emery teams are very good at doing is sitting in, being hard to break down, hard to beat. And they did that very, very well today. I'd be more concerned if I was a Villa fan with today than if I was a Newcastle fan.
Yep.
You guys kind of know what's going on at your club, where with Villa, they ain't got no money. They're skint. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's... a few super chats here. This says, here's a better one. Newcastle will drop points to shithouse Xhaka's Sunderland at least once this year. I can't wait for this derby, man.
I saw that come through, and I saw that come through, and I could not stop myself from laughing, because that is just, bro, what are you doing?
I cannot wait.
It's going to be a great derby, though.
Yeah, no, I can't wait for it, if I'm being honest with you.
I've put Sunderland to finish 17th. I put Sunderland to finish 17th because I hope they stay up so we can have more.
But the thing is, with like what people do with some of these promoted sides and they get a good signing, they don't really know much about the squad. So if you look beyond Granit Xhaka and Adingra, the players are mostly championship level players still on that.
That's not true.
I don't think that they're.
Sadiki, who they signed from Union Saint-Gilloise. I know about.
Yeah, but they're still not. It's still not a good enough squad to survive.
He is going to be one of those midfielders next year that's linked with all the big clubs. I guarantee you.
I hope so. This year says both teams looked unfit, almost like they haven't taken preseason too seriously.
Both
I wouldn't say unfit. I wouldn't say unfit.
I wouldn't say that.
It was sloppy and
yeah. I think like I felt like we played pretty well. Like we were running around everywhere. We had such a high press. Like you saw every time the ball went like back to us, like keeper. Like we were pressing very high. So I don't know if I agree with that.
Winter 1-0. Brighton.
Oh.
1-0 Brighton.
Look after my believer, please, Brighton. Look after my believer, please. Keep him ready for next year. Keep him on ice for us, please. Glad Shesh. Oh, sorry, we've done that super chat there from earlier. Gents, yeah, look, not a massively long one today because I've got to get into the Spurs. It's a crazy day. There's so much stuff, but I want to thank you all for jumping on and being part of the show today. To our viewers, listen, thank you very much indeed. Go check out NordVPN, though. Protect yourselves online at all times. There's a lot of scumbags out there. Plus, you want to watch those 3 o'clock games, get signed up to NordVPN. Use it to sign up to Setanta Sports. You got the UFC tonight as well, which is, I know it's free in the UK, but it's free on there, even their pay-per-views. So go check out Setanta Sports, get that done. Scan the QR code or click the link in our live chat. Until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you all again soon. Peace.